Is anybody here? You know what? Probably because I have monetization on. That way everybody gets here quicker. Oh, there's one person here. What's up, one person? We'll wait and see until there's more people logging in, but I don't even know this is a good time to have a live, honestly. Oh, they logged off. Is anybody here? Nobody is watching my streams. Everybody's just chilling on a Friday. Nobody likes my streams. Oh, what's up? We have one person on here. Heisenberg, what's up, man? We got like it's just you and me, bro. That's it. I wanted to come on live today and see if anybody was actually available on a what's it called on a Friday afternoon. And oh, you know what? Yeah, I did see Adobe. I wanted to get into Adobe, but I think Adobe we kind of lost that, right? Adobe was back. Yeah, Adobe was back here. I mean, if we wanted to get into Adobe, it would have been way back there. I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I would play Adobe right now. It hasn't had any retracement yet. I mean, the only way to play it would have been right here when it broke, like one of these ranges, right? Like it would have probably been. Whoops. It would have probably been from here, right? Down to these relative lows, so down there. It would have probably been that. So I'm pretty sure I had it set up for that. It was back in June 14th. Unless you wanted to have it set up something like this, where you had, lows of or highs of here, and lows of right there. That previous shark fin. So I mean, you could have played either this shark fin right here, or you could have played this shark fin right here. Either way, you would have made money. I don't think I would get into Adobe right now though. Right? Adobe seems like, you know, usually do it on the weekend. Too expensive. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Adobe's expensive, but I mean, you would have only had two different places to do it. You would have only had this one, this retracement right here, and you would have had the other one. Let me see. I mean, really, you would have only had right here, like that retracement, and you would have had this shark fin, which is down here to like right there. You would only had this one and this shark fin to play around with, and you would have had to get back in right here in June 7th. So we're like a month and a half away. Overall, though, I mean, Adobe looks like it's Adobe looks like it's headed to like 690 ish. I mean, just looking at all the charts. I mean, monthly looks bullish AF. The weekly looks like it was about to break on the bear side, but it kind of retraced to the upside. And yeah, I'd say easy bullish momentum right now on the weekly. Like, yeah, there's no way that Adobe's going down. I think 100% it's headed to 697. I mean, it might touch that within the next month or two, but I'm like 90% sure Adobe's going to 697. I mean, we won't do the breakout strategy for that, but yeah, it's definitely heading to 197, man. Doing big things. What's up, man? How you guys doing? We have 4 people online currently. Usually we have a little bit more, so I mean, I don't want to wait on anybody, but we'll see what's going on. Can you do a TA on AMC? What you think about it going down to 30? Um, so I think AMC. I think I'm still bearish on AMC. Where's my chart looking like? I mean, it's bouncing on the 30, right? Didn't it hit lows of? I mean, it hit lows of $31.15. AMC looks like it's. Let's look on the daily. Yeah, I think AMC is gonna drop some more come Monday. I think it's going down more. I mean, there's no. I mean, you guys can see right here. There's no support, right? Look at how big these gaps are. So you have gap one is that, right? You have this first gap right here of resistance and support, and the second one is right here, like right there. You have these two. These are huge gaps right there. So I mean, AMC still looks pretty. It looks bearish, man. I mean, I I would not play AMC right now. I mean, I think it's possibly going down to here. So I think it might drop another 50%. I think it might go down to 17K, but I mean it's bouncing off this level. It's bouncing up to 30. So I mean everything right now in AMC looks bearish though, to be honest. I mean look at that. Like, it basically broke support right here. Watch. So broke support, broke that 47 support, came down, touched support right here, went back up, retested previous supporters resistance, and then it's heading back down. So I mean, this is an easy. I mean, I wouldn't short it, but even on look on the daily chart, look on the daily. Like we're about to actually we're about to create another bearish push to the bottom. I say next week for sure. I think next week AMC goes back to $30. That would be an easy guess for me. I mean, we're trading under the 50 MA. I would easily guess that AMC is going back down to $30. I'd say there's like about a 90% chance that we go down here, maybe come back up to like $47. But I think there's this. I mean, I think we're going back to $30. Honestly, like it's pretty easy. I would easily say that we're going back to $30. Like I wouldn't say I would buy puts, but I mean, taking a hard guess. Just looking at the chart right now, I'd say we're going down. I mean, this gap got filled right here. So gap got filled. It looks like the gap got filled right here too. So there's nothing bringing AMC. There's nothing that can bring it down. There's still one more gap that needs to get filled down here. So there's one more gap that needs to get filled at 16, $17. But I think for the most part, I think AMC is heading back down to $30. It's pretty easy to tell. After the break of support, came back, retouched previous support as resistance, and then now it's coming back down. And it's gonna make another bear cross. Look at that. The weekly is still bearish. The monthly is it's not bearish momentum, but it's weak bull. So if I had to take a quick guess, I'd say it's going back to $30. AMC is a pretty quick guess, to be honest. Is crypto going to close bullish for July? I don't think so. I think crypto is going to close bearish for July. And I think we're still going to be trailing down. So let's look at that. Let's look at Bitcoin. I mean, if the thing is, it's a pretty consistent downtrend, even right now. Like, look at that. I mean, it's just consistent, to be honest. I think Bitcoin is going to be trailing down some more. I mean, even right now, the week is going to end tomorrow, right? So the week ends in 2 more days, right? Look at this little blue thing on the side. It's gonna close in a day and 2 hours, and it's gonna close under here. So we have the open of Bitcoin price. Watch, I'll show you guys. I'll make this super easy for everybody. Super, super easy. So look at these two candles. We are right now, we are on the weekly chart. The open for Bitcoin on the week of July 12th was up here, was 34,260 bucks, was right here. The open for Bitcoin is 33,506, right here. And it's looking like it's gonna close around this era, like around this area. I don't think that we're actually gonna go back and retouch 34,671 by tomorrow. I just don't think it's gonna happen. And we've been on we've been on a pretty consistent downtrend ever since what are we? What is this? June 28th. Like I say for now, like I think for now we're gonna stay on this consistent downtrend right here. That's what I think is gonna happen. Honestly, I mean the only real reason that I think anything else can happen is if we have some sort of crazy, like if we have some sort of random pump, which I doubt in the first place. But I think for the most part, I think we're gonna trail down. There's no reason for me to think that we're gonna close bullish. I mean, look at the monthly. Watch. Look at how strong these candles are. Look at how strong this whole range of bear momentum is. Look at that. Look at that. It's consistent growth. Look at that. Every single candle is bigger than the one prior. See that? Candle close, candle close, candle close. Water? Your cup? I think it might be in the car. Passenger seat. Sorry, that was my wife. Yeah, I mean, look at this. We still have all this for Bitcoin to drop. So on the Stoke generally tends to look at momentum. So, I mean, we still have all this space. Damn it, we still have all this space to go down to oversold. I mean, to oversold. Look at this. Look at that right there. See if I can move it. Look at that. We have all this room right here. We barely crossed over the 80 line, and we're still going. We're barely halfway. We're barely halfway. I mean, if we do end up bouncing, we might end up bouncing off of this level right here, which is coming up. But even then, we still have a pretty, if we do bounce off anything, it might be down here on the Stoke. But we still have the red line trailing, so this would still let us know that we're going down. There's a bigger chance that we hit 26K instead of rallying back to 38K. There's a way bigger chance that we go down to 26K. And it looks like, I mean, we're going to be closing what, this week? This week is July 30th, right? Yeah. It should be this week. So, I mean, I easily think, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, like I easily think we're still going to be trailing down. Like, there's no reason for me to think that Bitcoin's going to close bullish. Like everything is just lining up too much on the monthly to where we actually not close bearish. Like look at that. Look at how strong these candles are on the monthly. Like I just don't see it. Maybe it trades sideways a little bit, but I'm still pretty bearish on Bitcoin, honestly. Like super bearish on Bitcoin. So I hope that answers your question, Simon Young. I don't think Bitcoin is going to close bullish at all. I don't think Bitcoin's closing bullish. I think it's going to close bearish. I think we're still trailing down. But again, we have to wait for July 31st. We don't know anything until July 31st. We need to wait till that month close. A missed opportunity, but it was good test for your strategy. Yeah, man. I mean, Adobe was really good. I mean, so far, I mean, you can even backtest this, right? You can backtest this with a bunch of stocks. Like even with Neo, you can backtest the breakout strategy to kind of fulfill everything that you guys want. Like on the monthly, not the monthly, but the weekly, you can backtest anything, right? So even here, you can backtest it to like having the like low, high, and then you would have the breakout here, and then like a month later it would run, right? Or somebody actually said run, right? So let's do that. Let's go to Sun Run. So Sun Run, let's see if this would have actually like hit. It would have been from here down to here. Look at that. So even Sun would have probably actually hit. It would have probably hit first TP. right? So forecast, we'll go down to what? We'll go down like 5%. Barely. You would have barely, not even touched it. You would have glazed it. Look at that. First TP would have been right there. First TP would have been right there. You would have wicked it. Look at that. You would have wicked it and then came down. That's why it's always important to do first TP, second, and then third would be like up here somewhere. But the breakout, I'm telling you, man, the breakout strategy works. You guys just need to put in effort and look for tickers and see what's going on. But you wanted me to do TA and run, right? Somebody said run. L Brands and PayPal making new highs. I'll check out L Brands and PayPal soon. I got 10 options. You the man, Tony. Thank you, bro. I got those calls for Home Depot and McDonald's. I missed Home Depot. I haven't seen the Home Depot chart. But I think it looks. Does it look good? Does it look good for the breakout? I haven't seen the Home Depot chart. Did I actually put it? Not yet. I wouldn't play Home Depot yet. I mean, I have it set up for breakout, but yeah, like I have it set up for the breakout, but I wouldn't play it yet. We still need a candle that looks like this. So I mean, we need a candle that like gets created that's up like here. So you would have to have a candle close like this, something like that. You see that? You would have to have a weekly candle that closes like that. I wouldn't be buying Home Depot right now. It wouldn't make sense to purchase it right now. So I can get a. Where are my arrows, bro? Jesus. There you go. Yeah, so I would have to. I would wait. Home Depot looks like a really good setup, and I would definitely play Home Depot because it tends to run. Look at that. So low, high, it beat it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It did it 6 times. It beat out high over here. This wick right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd say about a month and a half would be a solid play for Home Depot. So buy maybe like a month and a half, 386 calls for a month and a half out. As soon as this candle gets created, I would definitely say Home Depot is a solid play. But I wouldn't be playing Home Depot right now. Home Depot wouldn't make sense to me unless it breaks 345. McDonald's, on the other hand, I'm actually in McDonald's right now. You guys probably saw my videos, but I mean, look at that. See, I actually created this like a couple days ago, and I'm like, if we have a candle that looks like this by the end of the week, I will be buying in. And guess what happened today on Friday? But by the end of the day, we closed in this range. So immediately I bought those McDonald's calls, man. Because look, every single time it beats those highs, it tends to move pretty nicely, right? So shark fin beat out highs, ran a little bit. So this time, this isn't actually a good example. A good example would be from here to here. So we would have a good example from here, relative high to relative low. And you can see that as soon as I got wicked up to right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It took 6 weeks for it to actually move on the upside. So you can kind of expect the same thing right here. You can expect, you would have to have at least like a 6-week move out. So a shark fin here, sideways trail, you know, this would probably hit in another, I mean, it's a big bullish jump to the upside, but I would still buy a month and a half out just in case, because the history of McDonald's is not necessarily big breakouts. So so you would actually have to push it towards the upside. And the crazy part is, look, even using the fibs right here, where's that fib come out? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. 259.83, 260. So one level up. What exactly happened right now? Look how perfect that setup is. Look at that. Look at that. We set up the fibs back here from relative high to relative low, and it matches up the fibs exactly for that 1.618 right here. So eventually it's going to hit this, which is the same fib level from down here, which is the crazy part. I think fibs are like the golden egg, man. I think fibs are absolutely crazy the way that they work. And I think it's an awesome setup, and everybody needs to learn the Fibonacci. I think it's the golden numbers for a lot of different things. And it's a solid setup for everything, But yeah, McDonald's, definitely in McDonald's. If you're in McDonald's, you would have to have at least 6 weeks out just to be cautious, to be on the safer side. Oh, I'm losing my voice over here talking and stuff, man. run. I can do a TA on run if you want me to. I got 5 call options for Apple earnings our next week, Tony. How much longer before we hit 29K again? How much longer before 29K for Bitcoin? I think Bitcoin 29K might happen again. I mean, there's a chance BTC might hit it again this week. But we gotta close. We gotta close on the bear side, which it looks like it might not actually happen. You see that stronger bull push towards the upside? We're still closing under, but I think if we go back to 29K, I think we don't go back to 29K till maybe sometime next week. I don't think we'll go back like this weekend. I think it's gonna happen. 29K will happen, but it won't happen for like another week or so. To be honest, I think it had a pretty nice push towards the upside. You know, I think we might trail down a little bit because look, it's hitting that trend already. It's already hitting that downtrend right now. So I think for the most part, I think it's gonna be pretty stable. Like I might break this trend, go up, hit 34, and then probably come back down to 32. But if we do go back to 29K, I think it happens like in another week or so. To be honest, I think that's how it's gonna play out. Maybe like another week. Hey Tony, can you cover PLTR? Sure. I mean, as you guys know, I'm bearish on PLTR to like $18. I already bought a bunch of puts for PLTR. These are my forecasts right here for PLTR. So either technically I'm 100% bullish on PLTR because it's got a gap to fill back at like 30, $31. But short term, these are the two plays that I can see happening with PLTR. You know, either we go down to like 13. Damn, did I really put $13? It's crazy. I mean, I'm not one to question myself, but yeah, I definitely think it's gonna go down lower. I'm like 80% sure we see $18 this week. To be completely honest, it looks like we're going back down to $18, which actually comes into play of us kind of doing some sort of creating a brand new uptrend on PLTR. So I can definitely see something like this happening, something like that, where the trend starts continuing downward like that. So I could definitely see us do something like this, go down here, bounce off that support and then that trend, go back up, maybe to something like up here, maybe go back down to like here, maybe do like this, I don't know, something like that. But I think for the most part, I think right now on PLTR, I'm definitely still bearish on it hitting back like $18, $18, $19. Definitely still bearish. I mean, just on the fact that we have. Let me get rid of all this stuff because there's too much going on, and you know, I don't like cluttering up my charts because then there's like too many things going on. And I only use weekly support and resistance. I don't use daily. I don't use 4 hour. I don't use monthly. Only weekly. I found that only weekly is actually what tends to work the most. It's a strong chance of weeklies doing something real solid. But I mean, last time we were, let me see, oversold. Yeah, so the last time we were on this area, look at this. We were on here, right here. So last time we were trailing down on the MACD, we were right there on the Stoke. Basically the same thing where we are right here, right? We're pretty similar in that area. It looks like the reverse MACD is going to give another bear trigger to the downside. So if I had to guess, what the heck? There we go. So I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say we're doing another similar drop to what happened like back here. I'd say there's another similar drop like that. We're going to see something like this. So what happened here, I say, let me see, forecast, we'll go from highs like down here. How much is that? A 5 point drop in 10 days? I mean, if we create something similar from here, from these highs, 10 days, 10 days, 5 point drop for five. I mean, I don't know if we would go as low as $17, but I think definitely being plausible would be something like $18 within the next 10 days. So in the next so by what is this? August 2nd. So I think by August 2nd, PLTR might actually be at $18. Just letting you guys know. I think that I strongly think that. But again, we have to have that bear trigger. That way we know that momentum is pushing towards the downside again. But as soon as that happens, you're looking at whatever that high is created from, that daily high. You're going 10 days over and then 5 points down. So definitely right now, I'm looking at PLTR being super bearish. I hope that helped you out. Does my wife trade too? No, she doesn't. She actually doesn't know how to trade. She doesn't. My wife doesn't know how to trade. Asher, I hope that helped you out on PLTR. So I hope that helps you. Tony, I remember a couple months ago when you had 400,000 doggy. Did you sell or are you still holding? I actually had 598,000 doggy. I sold half at like 40 cents, and I sold the other half at like 70 cents. I think I sold as soon as it hit 70. I sold my other half. So I had roughly around 600,000 doggy coins. I sold like 300,000 at 40 cents, and then I sold the other whatever I had left at like 70 cents. And again, that was based off the fibs. So I'm not gonna say how much I made, but you guys can do the math on that. Do I think PLTR will retest $27? I think PLTR is going back to $31 minimum. I think PLTR is going back to $31, 100%. I'm like 95% sure that eventually PLTR is going to shoot up and close this gap. When is it going to do that? I have no idea. No idea when that's going to happen. But gaps have like a 95% rate of closing. You guys know that. From all the TA that I've done, every single TA, you guys already know that gaps always get filled 100%. Not 100, but for the most part, gaps are going to get filled. And you guys know that from experience and from me doing my TA. Gaps get filled like 95% of the time. So eventually, I do think PLTR is going to go back to $31, $30 to fill this gap. Is it going to happen next week? No idea. It can happen 10 years from now, right? But eventually, it's going to go up and fill that gap. So long term, I'm 100% bullish on PLTR. What are my thoughts on Baba? So Baba right now is kind of weird because it's in the whole Chinese thing going on, like where Didi like had that. What is it called? Where Didi had the whole thing with Didi and all that weird stuff going on, and like Neo too. So anything that's Chinese related might keep having like a continuous sell off. I think the last TA that I did, it was definitely me being bearish on Baba, and I still think I am. I mean, it's not breaking these zones, right? It's not breaking out of resistance. It's hanging on under 215, and it's bouncing off the 200 MA. Like I think it's going down. And look at that. It actually just gave a bear trigger. I mean, it has a gap to fill right here. I think it might get filled Monday, Tuesday. So this gap for Baba might actually get filled pretty soon. I think this gap right here might get filled Monday, Tuesday, sometime next week. But I think for the most part, it's going to be going down. It's essentially creating like a pretty nice sell-off trigger. And last time we actually sold around these levels, we went from what? Here. So in 7 days, you had a 30-point drop. I'd probably say that it comes up and retests like 214, somewhere around this area. And in 1 week, 8 days, 7 days? 7 days, it goes down $30. So let's go with $30, 49 cents. Yeah, so it either goes down $30.49, like we did back here, or it goes down like 13%, which would actually make it a little bit higher. 13, 33, 35. So it's either going back down to minimum. I think it's going back down to like 186, around there. So if we actually have, let me see. So I mean, you can place a support, like an actual support there, and then kind of go back to see if it hits anything, right? Any price. Look at that. You have support right here. Look at all that support. You have support. You have resistance. You don't have any touches right there, but it came down and wanted to wick. So look at that. All we did was just forecast. Look at that. All we did was forecast percentage and price of what a previous drop did, and all we did was just add a line. Like all we did was just add support. And then what do we have if we go back all the way back here to what? We go to March 2020. We go back to March 2020. It was all this trading range. It was acting as support and resistance, right? All that trading range. What happens if you go back even further? Look at that. It acted as resistance multiple times. Resistance, resistance, and then it broke to the upside, right? Again, it was wicking over here. Again, look at this whole trading range. Look at this whole trading range. Look at that. Look at that. You really think it's coincidence? There's, like I always say, there's no coincidence in the market. Look at this. This goes back to February 2019. Look at that. Look how far back it goes, right? Do you guys really think this is coincidence? Like, it's not. It's not coincidence at all. There's no coincidence in the market. Look at that. Look at all that support. Look at all that resistance. Look at support. Support. Resistance. Look at that trading range. Look at that. Look how well it stayed in this range. Look how well it stayed in that 186 range. Look at that. Look at that. So there's no coincidence in the market. There's no coincidence. Especially it being with a weekly chart. I strongly think that BABA right now, just looking at how far back support and resistance goes, I mean, I think it easily goes from here, goes up, fills that gap, and then shoots all the way down. I mean, it might trade sideways for a little bit, but because it actually broke support, I think we're actually going down to 186. I think that's where BABA's going, especially with all the Chinese, like all the bad news happening right now. I definitely think BABA's going back. BABA's going down, I think. So, Robin, I hope that answers your question. Starting to get a little bit of, like, my mouth is dry just because I'm talking so much. Them ETN calls are looking beautiful. Yeah, man, those ETN calls are looking great. ETN is great. DocuSign was great. Pepsi was great. Costco was great. Nike was great. Everything is looking pretty solid. I think the only one, so ETN is looking really, really good. ETN is looking solid. I think right now, crowd, where's my crowd looking? So crowd is still looking in the same range. I mean, it broke it, but it's still trading around the same range. So right now, I think on crowd, I'm down like 5%. Let me see, ETN, BTU. I think BTU is still trading around the same range. Yeah, look at that. Big wick down right there. So it was doing really well the first week when I got in, and then it came back down, retested, and it came back up. So I'm hoping this next week it gives us that push towards 1346. What else am I in? Crowd, ETN. What are the older ones? Crowd, ETN, and BTU. I think those are it. As far as the older ones that are left, I think those three are the only ones right now. And I think I'm losing on all of them except for Crowd. Oh no, sorry. ETN, I'm in profit. Crowd, I think I'm down like 5%, 10%. And then BTU, I'm also down like 5-10%. So BTU and BTU and Crowd, I think I'm down. But for the most part, I think we're overall. I mean, overall we're up. I think everything looks super awesome, honestly. Asher, Tony covered PLTR. Yeah, we just looked at PLTR. I hope you saw that. You think Doggy Coin can drop under 1 cent? I don't think so. I think Doggy Coin. I think the bottom of Doggy Coin is going to be somewhere around 5 or 7 cents. If crypto keeps dropping, if crypto keeps dropping, I think the bottom for Doggy Coin and for Bitcoin is somewhere around the range of like 26, 25, possibly a little lower. But I don't think Doggy drops back to 1 cent. I don't think so. I love your TAs. Thank you. Do GME. I'll look at GME right now. Hey, bro. Hope you're having a great weekend. Can we get a TA or QQQ? They hit an all-time high. I was thinking about some puts. QQQ. Let me see. Have I done any QQQ? No. I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't buy any puts on QQQ. Honestly, that's cool though. You could have actually done the breakout right here. Relative high, relative low is down here. Move it to the right. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Look at that play. Oh, God, I wish I got in this one. QQQ. QQQ calls payout, too. Look at that. Look at that. Your trading range would have been somewhere here, too. It would have been somewhere like this. Your first TP would have probably been something like this. And then your take profits would have been here. Take profit, take profit. So it would have looked something like that. If you bought 3 calls, you would have probably already taken profit on like 1 or 2 at like 100%. And then the second one, you would have probably let it run to 371 or 379. But, oh, man. QQQ looks like a beautiful, beautiful breakout. Look at that. Beautiful shark fin. Beautiful cross of the relative high. And then what? 1, 2, 3, 4. It took like 5 weeks to get there. Super beautiful, man. Look at it. Oh, man. I feel so bad that I didn't see QQQ earlier. This would have been an easy, easy, easy entry for me. For all of us. Easy entry. But sorry about that. Let me get back on track of what I think is going to happen. I wouldn't short QQQ. I don't think it's going down. What is a daily? Yeah, I wouldn't short it, man. I would not be shorting QQQ right now. I think it has a lot of bullish momentum. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this. Look at all this push to the upside. Stoke and on the daily, reverse MACD is super bullish. Stoke is bullish. The weekly is still bullish. We actually just crossed. We actually just made a new bull push towards the upside. The monthly is straight bullish. I would not be shorting right now, at all, at all, at all. I would not be shorting anything on QQQ right now. I mean, if I had to guess where this was going, I'd say it's probably headed towards. If you wanted to buy puts on QQQ, I would probably buy on the retracement, honestly. So I would buy puts somewhere like as soon as it hits 372, because I do think that's where we're headed for the QQQ. I would say that would be a solid time to buy puts, but I wouldn't be buying puts until it hits that level. It honestly looks like it's gonna keep going up to there. That's what I think. It doesn't look like it's gonna drop, honestly. I think this next week is gonna keep pushing. I think it's gonna push towards 372 minimum. I think that's where we're headed right now. I would not be shorting QQQ right now. It doesn't make any sense, at least to me. I'd be buying calls right now, but I mean, I would have only bought calls on the breakout. I wouldn't buy calls right now. Definitely wouldn't buy calls right now. I mean, if I was doing like a full TA for you guys, I'd probably start with like. Let me see. I'll probably do like there. The reason I hate QQQ is because it has so many zones of like support and resistance. Like, look at that. Look at all these support and resistance. Look at all that. It just makes too much sense to. Like, it doesn't make any sense to short it. Like, to be honest, like. I mean, you have gaps right here. Like, you have these big jumps right here. So, I wouldn't even think about putting too much. No, there's another one right here. Another support right here. I'd say like right there. You see that? This is why I wouldn't play QQQ puts. It's just too consistent on the uptrend. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to do anything else, right? Like it would not make sense. Like the long-term trend right here is basically this. Yeah, I'd say long-term trend is something like that. And then second long-term would be maybe something like this right here. So you have 2 trends right now going on. You have the first trend that goes, whoops, what did I just do? So you have the first trend that actually goes all the way back from March lows, which has been pretty consistent. And then you have the second trend that actually just started back from September 20th. And it's pretty consistent, right? I mean, it's been pretty consistent. The only thing that I would do is I would probably start looking for divergence if I wanted to play any of these. I mean, I would really only do divergence, honestly. Like, I would not be looking at shorting. I would not be looking at shorting QQQ. I'd only be looking at the divergence plays right now. And it doesn't seem to have any kind of divergence. It looks like it's going to keep going up. Like I said, if I had to guess, it's going to, like, what did I say, like 372? I think that's going to be the next area. I think 372 is going to be the next area that QQQ goes to. So 372, the fib level is like right here, right? Like somewhere right here. So I think it goes to that area, and then I think it drops. But I would not be shorting right now. I would only start looking at puts as soon as it crosses that level. So from here to there, I'll take this off so it's clear for you guys. But yeah, I mean, I would only look at buying puts as soon as it hits this. As soon as it hits right here. As soon as you see it hit, like, or touch 372, I'd buy puts, because from right there you guys can maybe expect it to retrace. So you can maybe expect it to go, when it hits here, maybe it goes back down and retests like 366, maybe. But I would not be looking at shorting. If anything, I'd buy calls, sell them at 372, but I would not be looking at shorting that ticker at all. Definitely. Can you do a run TA? Run. Sure, man. We can look at run. Let me drink some water, because I feel like all this talking, I'm like losing my voice. Ugh. Do you think earnings reports from big tech could lead to a small sell-off? Unless big tech has like really bad earnings, I don't think so. And I really doubt that tech is going to have bad earnings, honestly. I think Q2 was one of the better, probably one of the better quarters they've ever had in history. So I don't think big tech's going to sell off. I think big tech's might even run a lot higher, to be honest. Bro, your setups are so amazing. Thank you. Doing big things, bro. Thanks for that, man. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible and just kind of, be consistent. I think the big thing here is try not to lose money. Did you see Uphold or Upshot? Did you see Upshot? Upshot did a rug pull. His cryptocurrency coin, his YouTube career is over. He is a doggy coin father. His reputation is ruined forever. Who? Upshot? I have no idea who that is. Low roller coaster scratcher? No idea who Upshot is. I don't even know what he was doing for that rug pull. If you can tell me more in the comment, that'd be great. But I honestly have no idea what's going on with that. Snap. You know what? I was actually looking at Snap a couple days ago. Oh, what? Dude, look at that gap. I would not be playing Snap, though. Definitely not. Look at that huge gap, man, on the daily. That's a super, super solid push to the upside, but no, hell no, dude. Look at that. What kind of a gap is that? What is the price gap on that? Look at that. What is that? 15% gap? Hell no. I would never be playing Snap right now. I mean, it did do exactly what we wanted it to on the weekly. Look at that. Look at that. So it had. I would not be getting in here. Look at that. There's no upside. You would be selling everything at $82. I would not be buying Snap at all because you have no upside. Look at that. What would the upside be? 5%? No. No. I would not be buying Snap right now. You got that huge. I'm gonna take the fibs off just so it can be clear, but. I mean, look at that gap, dude. What the heck? That's a 15% gap. Why would anybody want to be buying Snap right now? That thing's gonna get filled up. It's gonna get filled fast. The gaps that are this big don't take a long time to get filled. If you see gaps that are maybe like 1% or a couple percentage, whatever, this is a 15% gap right here. Why would you ever want to buy this? Why would you ever want to buy this gap right here? Look at that. 15% gap. No way I would buy this. Even if it did break relative highs and it looks solid, I would not be buying Snap at all. That gap is going to hurt it. You know, I think it might run a little bit more, but I think ultimately, minimum, I don't even need to do charting on Snap right now. I don't even need to do anything. Minimum, I'm thinking Snap goes back to, what is this, 63 bucks? I think Snap goes back to 63 bucks easily. There's no way I would play Snap. Hell no. Snap looks crazy bearish right now. I mean, if anybody wants to play it, fantastic, and they make money, great. As far as me, no, I would not be playing Snap right now. There's too much of a gap. I would not be getting into Snap. Can I do a TA on Apple? I mean, honestly, when you look at Apple or like Apple, Microsoft, like Costco, whatever. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. It would have hit that second fit. Nice. So beautiful, man. I love when the breakouts play out nicely like that, man. It's so amazing. It feels so good. It feels so good to see the breakout working. But just to be kind of clear, I do think that buying Apple, Microsoft, Costco, whatever, I generally think the momentum play is just up. Like, I don't really look at Apple or Microsoft, whatever, as like swing plays. They're more of just kind of like, you know, I'd say they're more of like just buy and hold, honestly. Like, I would be just buying and holding Apple. I wouldn't be doing anything else with that ticker, honestly. Like, just buy and hold. Buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold. I mean, I wouldn't know what else to tell you guys. I think Apple, Microsoft, all those other tickers have like a really good place, like in the charts and everything. Let me see. There seems to be another fill right here, so we'll do like that. That's kind of like a rough estimate of where the support and resistance is going to be. Looking at chart though, the monthly looks like it just crossed bullish, honestly. So the month looks pretty solid. The weekly looks a little weak. I think at most, as soon as we create something like this, like a little sell trigger, we might see a sell-off of like, 129 down to one. Yeah, I mean, we might sell back to like 140. But Apple is generally just a buy and hold. I mean, I think for the most part, I think Apple's going up. I think Apple has a really solid chance of just having a nice continuation towards the upside. I mean, you have this relative break here. You have another relative break here. So, I mean, I think if it keeps this momentum going, I think it's going to keep. I mean, you can even do what's it called? Like, you can even do relative highs and relative lows to the previous all-time high. So look at that. You're using Wick from November 23rd, and now you can probably even buy Apple calls right now and do the breakout strategy in this next coming week. Because look how we closed. We closed perfectly. So you would actually be able, I mean, I would say that we have a strong chance of hitting 165 in the next month or two if all the cards line up, right? So you would have your first take profit there. But let me see where we would actually run this to. I would do 2.5% probably. So I would do something like right here. $160, $139. So I do something like this. So if I was actually going to play Apple, you know what? Apple actually looks kind of good. You know, looking at the breakout from all-time highs back here on January 25th, I think I might actually buy some Apple calls coming Monday. And I think the upside is actually pretty nice, right? I think the upside would be what? Minimum, you have an 8% upside. If it actually hits that fib, you get an 11%. So you're looking at maybe about 100% gain on options. Again, depending on which one you buy, but I think Apple's look goes up. I don't think it's going to trail down, honestly. I think Apple looks pretty solid on the upside. Broke previous highs. I mean, it broke relative highs. It's still running. I think it's going to keep running. What does the day look like? Day looks like, yeah. See? They just broke bullish. I think you actually are gonna see. I mean, if there's a small retracement, you might see Apple retrace to like. I think the next stop for Apple might be like 156 before you see a retracement that back down to like 150. But I think for the most part, if you play this safely for like a month or two out, you can probably see an Apple 161 and 165 in like another month and a half. So definitely bullish on Apple. I would say that Apple is gonna be pretty continuously going towards the upside. Honestly, I don't see it going down. Are you planning to go back in doggy, and if at what price? Yeah, I said this plenty of times. Doggy, I still like it, but I would only go back to doggy at like 5 or 7 cents. I wouldn't buy at anything higher than that. It doesn't make any sense to me. QQQ or SPY TA? I already did the QQQ TA. I think it's going up. Damn, you sold doggy at the top? Kind of, yeah. I mean, I sold at 40 and then I sold at 70. Um, basically. So it was pretty nice, you know. Nice little payout. Let me go. J-Man. Can you check UPST and Wish? I'll do one. I'll do UPST. And then I'll move down the line to somebody else. UPST. Whoops. Where am I at? I'm at, damn, 50 minutes? I think when it comes to an hour, I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to stay. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on. UPS, oh, it's like fairly new, huh? Oh, this one should be pretty easy. Where are our supports? We have rights. We have one support there. Resistance. We have resistance. We have support anywhere right here. Support right. Now we'll do support right. Yeah, support's like right there. We have another one right here. Another one right there. That one's good. There's support right here. Right there, and I'd say stronger support is probably somewhere like right here. Right there. And then probably right there. That seems about right. I mean, it's been trading sideways. Where would I think that it's going? I think it'll probably still trail sideways. I mean, it's been trading on a single range. Look at that. It's been pretty consistent. What, June 21st, since June. I mean, I think it stays here, honestly. I think if anything, it can probably do something like, I mean, it could probably go down here, and then from here go up, bounce back down, go here. But I think ultimately, I think it's going up. I think it's probably going to go back to somewhere like there. That's what I think, honestly. The weekly looks like it's about to break to the upside. I think it's going to have a major, major push towards the upside. What happened last time we had a push like that? We had a push from, that must have been a lot of volume though. Yeah, I mean, we had a push to 96, or was it 191 bucks up here in what, 15 days? Oops. Go back on that. Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty consistent trading on a certain range right now. Let me see if I had a guess. Yeah, I mean, it's not really, it doesn't really hold up a trend, so you can't really trend it out. I mean, it's been consistent on this kind of range right here. It's been like here, and then trading like here in this range. I mean, it's been kind of consistent there. There's not a solid trading range for this thing, honestly. I mean, the only solid range that I can see is just this kind of range right here, and then it's kind of sideways trading for now. But I think because we actually created, we've been in bear territory for UPST this whole time, right? Ever since June 7th, we've been in bear territory, and all it's done is what? It's just been. I mean, it had a huge drop, but then just kind of trading sideways. So I think the next time we actually cross and we have a bull trigger, I think it shoots up. I don't know if it's gonna actually go past previous highs of 187. I think it might actually retest 173 and kind of go from there. Um, I don't know if it's gonna pass all time highs. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen with this Tigger, but I do think we go back up to 172. I think we might actually go back to 172 or something, to be honest. Yeah, I mean it's really just kind of been trading on this range. I mean nothing too fancy. The good thing is it's that it's bearish territory right now, bearish momentum, and all it's doing is just kind of trading up and down. So I wouldn't be too worried. I think we might trade a little sideways, and then once we get to maybe like late August, then we might see a push towards the upside. Um, but yeah, I say right now, I don't think it's going to go down any lower. I think if it goes down any lower, I think the bottom is probably like $103. I think it just kind of continues to trade sideways and to kind of go from there. But I think it stays between this level, honestly. I think it's going to stay here, maybe drop down to 103. But ultimately, I do see it going back up to at least 172. I think it's going to retest previous resistance. Like again, I would definitely be looking at buying this if you're holding this long term. Because what are you looking at right now? You're looking at that's a 50% increase. That's amazing gains. UPST looks like it might hit this price range again within the next what, 2 months. I would definitely be buying UPST right now. It looks like for like a very long swing or just a long term hold, it looks like pretty good. It looks solid. I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 or 3 months you see UPST trading back at 172, and a 52% gain in 2 months is absolutely ridiculous. So I think it's going up 100%. Yeah. So I hope that helps you, J-Man C. How do you trade and work at the same time, big bro? I don't know, man. I really only look at charts like during my lunchtime or in the morning or whatever, or when I'm like running and stuff. So usually what I do is I usually chart when I'm at lunch that I'm actually gonna buy because I'm using my wife's laptop. I'm probably gonna buy a laptop for myself and just start what is it called? Just start charting during lunch, like on my actual computer instead of my phone. Um, but it's I mean it doesn't take up too much time. I mean I got used to I got used to charting on my phone, um, and the setups are pretty simple. So I mean the thing is, if you have a strategy and you've been using it for a while, it's not hard to chart because you're just looking at clear stuff, right? Like I can be on my phone, right, and all I'm really doing is looking for clear setups. And this is actually one of the things that I do. So I'll show you guys right now. But for when I'm looking for a breakout, right? When I'm looking for breakout strategies, I usually go to Market Beat and I look at 52-week highs, right? So I go to 52-week highs and I just kind of go down the list. That's it. I just go down the list. Just go down the list. And the actual ones that I just played are like, DG, Lulu was recommended to me. McDonald's, this should probably be up here. But it's just kind of going down the list, man. Look at Adobe's right there, McDonald's. It's really just about going down the list and looking at what's actually breaking 52-week highs. So let's look at something we know, right? Let's look at AXP, American Express. I would go on my phone. I'd go to AXP. I'd be like, you know what? What's going to happen with American Express, right? Let's go to AXP, Amex, boom. I don't think there's any charting here, right? I look at this. Whoops. Let's get out of that. First of all, I would always be on the weekly. There's a couple things that I look at, right? Damn it. There's a couple things that I look at when I'm looking for the breakout strategy or just anything that I'm doing, right? So immediately, Amex, why wouldn't I like this play? Gap. Down here. Never got filled. So immediately on AXP for Amex, I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna play this. Why? Because there's a gap. It automatically doesn't fill what I'm looking for. It's not like I just look at it and I just look at, you know what, what's working, what doesn't, and I'm just looking at tickers that are actually like immediately fill everything that I want. So let's look at AAP, right? I think AAP we already looked at, but let's look at it again. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts, right? So this should already be set up. Look at that. AAP looks like what it looks like exactly like what I would be getting into. So I would probably be getting into AAP just because I had a nice candle cross on the upside right here. I might, and then it's been kind of trading in this range, right? So it did beat highs. We have this shark fin right here, and then we have the 50 MA over the 200. It's been pretty consistent towards the upside. It's just been trailing towards the upside for a while, and even before COVID, has it been going sideways? I mean, it's been going sideways, so I don't even know if I would play AAP, but just looking at this quick chart right here, I would probably get in 50 MA, 200. Chart already looks bullish on the weekly. The monthly is what? Monthly is still bullish. It tried to break bearish here, but it couldn't. It just kind of trailed sideways. So immediately here, I would say, yeah, let's do AAP. It looks like a solid play. So then I would go in and chart. So it's like when you have a strategy, you don't need to really be looking at like you already know what's going to happen, right? You don't need to be looking at like a bunch of tickers. You don't need to be wasting your time. So I can basically go down here and look and just look at anything I want. So I can look at, let's go to Blackstone, right? BX. Blackstone route. Broke 52-week highs. Does it have a shark fin? No, I wouldn't even care about this one. Let's look at another one. Let's look at, something that we might actually know. L Brands. Somebody recommended L Brands early today on YouTube. LB. Let's go to LB. L Brands. Perfect. What do we have? We have the 50 MA over the 200 MA. Whoops. We have the 50 MA over the 200, right? We have a shark fin right here. So we have a nice shark fin. Relative lows, relative highs, retraced, and came down to here, right? That's your shark fin right there. Look at the chart. It looks bullish. Bullish. Monthly. Monthly is still on the bullish side. What have we been doing for a while? Just trading towards the upside. What's the momentum look like? What does the daily look like? Daily looks bullish. So there's no reason for me to not get into this trade. And now we can set it up, right? So this is why a strategy helps everybody out, because there's no reason for you to waste your time on things that don't make sense. So look at this. Immediately I would be like, you know what? The potential is definitely there. What is the gain? What is the potential gain, right? 77 up to the fib, 20%. That's a solid 200% gain on contracts maybe, right? Depending on which ones you buy. Let's go down. Let's see how far down we got to go. We'll go down 5% right here. 5%. Get your rectangle. Set it up at 89.73. Boom. Done. Set it towards the upside where it's a relatively equal box on both sides. Delete that. Add your, what is it called? Add your take profits. Take profit, 1. Take profit, 2. Take profit, 3. And guess what? Just as easy like that, just that easy, that's already a play for the week. That's already a play. And if I wanted to be more like careful about what's going on, the only time that it created shark fins, go back to when it created shark fins. So when did it create shark fins? Look at that. Shark fin here. Shark fin right there. Shark fin right here. High. Low to down here to that previous retracement. Look at that. Shark fin right there. As soon as it broke, it took what? 2 weeks to get to the previous to those next highs. It broke. It took 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, 1 month out. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. We had the break. Well, the break was actually back here. So you would have actually needed this to wick towards the upside. Fortunately, L Brands right now looks like it's doing exactly what we would want. We actually want it to be a little bit on the higher side. So I would be getting into here, and I would be playing this upside to that first TP. So what is it? upside for CP, you're looking at a 15% gain just right there. So maybe like 100, like 100% gain on L brands, and you would play this minimum like a month out, I'd say. But just as easy as that. When you have a strategy, you don't need a lot of time. I'm telling you guys right now, when you have a strategy that works or a strategy that you can do consistently, you don't need to spend hours on a chart. How long did I spend on LB right now? I didn't even spend 5 minutes on this, and I can play this right now. That's my trade of the week, my trade of the month. All I got to do is put a certain amount of money in it, make sure that it returns a certain amount of money, and I'm done. LB, for example, it's been trading sideways, so I wouldn't put in a big position, but I wouldn't mind throwing, a couple $100 at this and seeing what happens, just because it looks like it's going to keep moving towards the upside. Everything looks bullish. So again, it's not that I don't have time or anything. It's just when you have a strategy, you don't need to waste your time on looking for a bunch of stuff. You have a strategy, you implement it. If something looks clear and it works, done. You're done in 5 minutes. I hope that answers your question. Can I get an insight on RKT? Let me see. Do you think that the stock market will crash soon? I don't know about soon. I think there's definitely a lot of weird stuff going on in the market. So you guys can go back to my YouTube videos, the ones that actually say, why I'm scared of the stock market, part 1 and 2. And I tend to go in there and kind of explain what's going on and stuff. So I hope that hope your throat gets better. Don't work it too much. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not used to talking so much. Yeah. So many you have to do this every Monday and Friday. I'm gonna try to. I mean, I started doing this on just for the weekends, and I kind of want to do this during the week, but I don't have a lot of time. I mean, the only reason I'm going live today is because I didn't go to work. I actually ended up waking up with vertigo, so I didn't go to work, and I didn't want to be all dizzy and stuff at work. So that's the only reason why I'm actually going live right now. It's because I had a little bit of time. Otherwise, I would have probably gone live tomorrow or Sunday or something. What else? But yeah, I mean, the market's weird, man. The market's pretty weird. I would say that there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I mean, bonds look weird. The US 10-year is weird. I still think bonds are going to keep rising, to be completely honest. I mean, we had a really nice push off that 50 MA. I mean, and we have divergence too. Look at that. Clear divergence. Look at that. You have bullish divergence. You have actually this is exaggerated divergence actually. So you have exaggerated divergence down here. See that? It's when the RSI or the Stochh is showing this. So divergence is when you have certain stuff going on the RSI, where bullish divergence would be this is going down and price is going sideways or up. That would be considered divergence, and it's bouncing off the 50 MA. I mean that's something that I would go into. I use divergence to trade forex. I would go into that a different day, but yeah, TLT is looking bad. I mean, no, not bad. It's looking good, and I do think it's going to come back and retest 170. I mean, it still looks consistently bullish, and the fact that we're still at this level, look at that. We haven't even moved on the Stochh. Look at that, dude. We have all of this to go. We have all of this movement. Look at that. We're still down here. We're still under 20, man. We have all of this movement. Look at all that. I think that there's a strong chance that we're gonna keep moving towards the upside, and it's kind of scary because if bonds keep running towards the upside, everything is gonna come down. And the thing is, I told you guys, I'm like, the US 10-year, the yield is gonna come down, and everybody was like, no, you're wrong. It's not gonna stay. It's gonna run up. Guess what happened? We've been trading down ever since April. We hit peak lows of 1.1. And I still think we're gonna come back all the way down to these lows. I think we're coming. I think it's just going. I think we're just going down, dude. There's no reason for me to think otherwise. I think we might actually hit a first order block here, and then we might hit a second order block there. but I think yields are going back down to under 1%. I think that's where we're headed, to be honest. Um, but yeah, like it's one of those things where I'm just like man, I just I think we're still going down, you know. Um, so we're kind of we have to wait and see. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of weird stuff going on in the market. Honestly, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on. I thought you were full time job as day trade. Oh no, I don't trade this full time. You don't need work 9 to 5 jobs since you make a lot of money in stock market. So, I mean, I can leave my job and just trade full time. I can probably just trade full time, do YouTube full time, and I'll be fine. I like what I do. I mean, I'm a programmer. I like working with code. I like doing what I do. Otherwise, I mean, if I didn't like what I did, I would probably quit. But honestly, I like my job, and I don't think I would ever leave it. Even if I become like a millionaire or something one day, like a multi millionaire, um, I don't think I would ever leave my job. Honestly, I think it's fun. Um, I think I think being a programmer is super cool. The money's pretty nice. The projects that I do are hard, but they're it's a lot of it gives you a lot of input of what can be done at a job that can make things like work a lot better, right? So for me, I don't mind having a job. I like where I work, so that's the only reason why I don't quit and like do trading full time. Looking at how much money the Fed is lending in the reverse repurchase, the repo, yeah, market makes you wonder how much over leverage there is in the market. Yeah, there's a lot of margin in the market right now. I mean, we're super over leveraged right now. It's scary, dude. It really is, especially in the crypto market. Crypto is like, oh man, crypto is at least 50, 60% leverage, and it's super scary. Like crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything, it's scary to think about how much leverage there actually is in the market right now, and it does not look good. It really doesn't. Do you think Doggy Coin, the next all-time high, will be $1? I haven't looked at Doggy in a while. What language do I program in? I program in Python, PowerShell, SQL. Um, I think that's it. Python, PowerShell, SQL, and I'm learning VBA. So I'm learning VBA, which is the coding language for Excel. But as of right now, my main language right now is PowerShell and Python. SQL is kind of secondary, and then my fourth one would probably be VBA, which is in Excel. Let's look at Doggy actually. You know what? I think this might be my last ticker. I'm gonna go hang out with my wife and my little girl. So I'm gonna go hang out with them. Make sure that they're okay without me right now. Um, let's see what's going on with the Doge. With the Doge. Look at that. Look at that monthly cross on look at that bearish monthly cross on the monthly chart. Wow. So I mean an easy way for us to kind of determine if it's possible is let's do that. So if we do end up going on another rally, I think yeah, I think Doggy goes to a dollar easily. If anything, I think it goes up to like $1.20. That's why I'm looking at purchasing Doggy. But again, it would only make sense to buy it at like 5 cents, because I think from 5 cents to a dollar, you're looking at what 25x from it, like a 25x. I think it's a solid gain from 5 cents to a buck. But even right now, I mean, you can see that it's bouncing off fibs right now. Um, the weekly does look like it's gonna turn bullish soon, but I don't know if it will. I don't know if it'll actually run to the upside. Um, I think now with it being on Coinbase, with it being onto other platforms, I do think there's a strong chance that Doggy hits a dollar. But I would only buy it if we start hitting like 8 cents. Honestly, I would only start buying Doggy Coin if we hit 8 cents. I'd probably buy like maybe like 10K of Doggy at 8 cents, or maybe split that up between 8, 7, and like 5 cents, whatever. But it really depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin keeps dropping, there's no reason for me to. If Bitcoin keeps dropping, there's no reason for me to buy Doggy anytime soon. I mean, it just looks like it's got. It it honestly looks like it's gonna go up and retest. Like it's gonna do this. It's gonna do that. Gonna go back down, and then from here, you're gonna see that sell off. I think that's what might happen sometime soon. And look at the weekly though. The weekly on not necessarily Doggy, but BTC looks bad. Let me see what Ethereum looks like. Ethereum looks like. I mean, Ethereum looks bullish right now. It looks like it might actually close bullish. Ethereum actually looks like it might close bullish. Crazy. What does a month look like? Month is still bearish. What does a day look like? Day is. I mean, on the day, it looks like it's gonna come back down. Do we actually have any sort of? Let me get rid of this. Let me actually check the RSI. Let me see. RSI. What does the RSI look like? I mean, there's bearish divergence on the RSI. See that? Let me see from up here. Look at that. I think it needs to go a little bit higher. We need it to be like this, because you guys can see up here. The only way that we actually have bearish divergence if we have price like this. You see how it's coming up here to the 50 MA? Stoke needs to be a little bit higher. So the Stoke needs to be like right here. I would say the Stoke, if it comes up a little bit higher to like, the RSI. If the RSI comes higher up to like maybe this level, I think that would indicate another sell, which can possibly happen because it looks like we're going to be turning bearish pretty soon on Ethereum. So I think there's a strong chance that we might hit this 50 MA. So we might see that hit this 50 MA up here. We might see that. But I think from here, I think we bounce down. I think we hit the 50 MA and we come back down to like under 2K. And then it would kind of be reliant on Bitcoin to see what happens. But like again, monthly looks super bearish. Like there's no reason for me to be like not bearish on Ethereum or really any crypto, to be honest. What happens usually on Ethereum? Monthly then drops. Monthly, big boy drop. Yeah, look what's happening right now. Look at that. We're hitting peaks of where we were back on January 2018 when we hit highs. It just did the same thing. Look at that. Look at that. There's no coincidence in the market. I told you guys. There's no coincidence. Look at that. Look at that. It hit peak and it went all the way down to this level minimum. It went down to like right here. So I think the next level that Ethereum has to hit is actually, let me get rid of this. So I think right now it's trading in this range right now. I think right now Ethereum is going to be trading in this monthly range. Look at that. Let me see if I can make this a little bit. Look at that. I think it's trading on this range. I think Ethereum has. I think Ethereum goes back to like 60, the 60 on the RSI before bouncing. I think it's gonna come back down here and then shoot up. So I'm still pretty bearish on Ethereum, honestly. I still think it's going down. I don't think that. Look at that. It's a perfect sell-off. It's a perfect sell-off from back in 2018. Perfect sell-off, and it's doing the exact same thing. So still bearish on everything, honestly. Red weekly on TLT. Is it? No, TLT still looks weekly. Look at the weekly. I actually haven't seen the weekly. Weekly. Now, weekly still looks good. But to keep in mind, I'm only using the monthly. I'm only going by the monthly. Monthly is still bullish. Monthly is still super bullish. The weekly is still bullish. We still have a little bit of a push towards the upside. Look how oversold they got. TLT, look how oversold. So I definitely think TLT in like the next coming like weeks or whatever, I think TLT can do something like this. I think TLT can go from here, literally like all the way up to here, all the way up. That's what I think can happen. I think that's what can happen. Just because it has a history of being oversold like that. Whoops. Look at that history. Look at that. Look at how many times it's been oversold. Look at that. Look at TLT. I'd be worried if it gets to like this level. I think the next level for TLT would probably be here. would probably be this top right here, like right there. When it gets to that level, then I would be worried about TLT, and that's where I would be thinking about selling out. But until it gets to here, like an overbought RSI, like over here at 82, then I would worry. But it's at 59. Yeah, I think it has all this wiggle room. TLT looks crazy, crazy bullish right now. I would not be looking at getting out of my TLT positions just yet. What is the hype? Okay, so guys, I've been online for an hour and 20 minutes, which is a lot longer than I thought I was going to be. So I want to say good night. Have a happy Friday. I am going to be logging off because I've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes. I hope everybody has a great Friday night. I will be putting my baby to sleep because it's already 7:46 and her bedtime is 7:30. So I'm going to go hang out with my wife and my kid for a little bit before she goes to bed. Thank you everybody for joining the live stream. I will try to come back on live tomorrow or Sunday. But I hope that I helped everybody out. Look at my breakout videos, like the video. Everybody that's on the stream, like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share my YouTube account with your friends and everybody, let them know and stuff. And what else? Yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll try to be back tomorrow. Learn the breakout strategy. It works. It's tested. It's back tested. It's forward tested. Trying to help you guys out. Just, have a great night, guys. Take care of that throat. Thanks, man. I'm going to drink a bunch of water just because I'm not really used to talking for hours on end or being live and stuff. But I'll see you guys later. Have a great night. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. Bye.